Welcome back to Tommy's Top Picks, episode 3 of the weekly roundup podcast. I'm your host, Tommy, and I'm here with my co host, John.
How'd you do?
So, how was your week?
It was good. It was good. A lot of stuff. We got a lot of cool content out. Got to play some good games.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you took down my chain. Got
Yeah,
that?
about time. With my half thrown together, not complete Bravo deck.
Yeah, yeah. You did cheat a little bit. That's the official narrative, at least.
Yeah, and I cheated by.
Well, we'll let them see. We'll see in the
It
video.
wasn't actually cheating.
Mm-mm.
Um,
No, Tommy plays clean.
so, when it comes to pickups this week, I picked up a couple cards to complete said Bravo deck. Um, Not everything yet. I'm not sure exactly what I want to include. I need to get some more playtest games in, but I did order the Crater Fist, so at least I have that. Um,
Nice.
might pull the trigger on the Tectonic Plate. We'll see.
It's a good one. I mean, it definitely has its uses, and with Valda coming out, do you think
Right.
it'd be useful with Valda? I don't actually. I didn't actually look at it
I
closely.
mean, it's
And
just it's another way to create a seismic token. So
yeah,
if you can
that could
stack
be.
those up,
Oh, yeah, and some of those big, expensive swings that
mm-hmm.
in Guardian, yeah, that'll be
Yep,
fun. She
freeze
she looks like a lot of fun.
freeze up
She might
another
get me
card.
into Guardian.
Yeah, yeah. Too bad she's gonna be Blitz only, but
That's okay.
it'll be
I
fun.
don't mind Blitz. Yeah.
Then
Anyways,
I picked up a case of Crew Unlimited because I found it really cheap. So that was
nice.
super exciting. Kind of talking about what we were talking about last week and taking advantage of some sales right now. Uh, we were able to find a case of Crew for a really good price, and so I grabbed that. And I still have yet to receive the other Cryptid Nation second edition kit. So when that comes in, I'll be opening up that stuff. It comes with, I think, 2 more boxes, um, the promo booster pack, blister pack, and and it comes with the first edition Nightfall box too. So I might open another one of those
Nice.
because I've only
Yeah, mine
opened.
got lost in the mail.
Oh boy!
Yeah, they said we have lost track of this or sorted this incorrectly. I got a message the other day,
Oh
so
no!
I was like, "Oh, all right. Hopefully it shows up."
For your Crypto Nation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Unfortunate.
yeah.
So it'll be a while before I get those.
Anything you want to talk about that you picked up?
Oh yeah, yeah. So I got a bunch of stuff. After we spoke last week about the great prices on Pokemon, I went out and actually bought a bunch of it. Just picking up a little position in all the recent sets that are really low price right now. Because when you have such a low downside, it's hard to pass that up if you can park the capital. And ironically, which I was pretty excited about, 2 days later, Rudy comes out with a video saying Pokemon's really cheap. How can you not buy this?
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
was like, yeah, justified in my decisions.
yeah.
So I felt pretty good about it. And I probably beat a little bit of a rush because when he says to do things, a lot of people go and do it. So, which is good to beat his rush. But yeah, I got the recent sets of Battle Styles, Chilling Reign, Fusion Strike, and the Sword and Shield. Yeah, Sword and Shield. So yeah, we'll have some stuff. It'll be good. And
The
then
Sword and Shield. Wait, Sword and Shield, the base set.
oh, I'm sorry, Evolving Skies. Yeah, I
Okay.
just misread what it says. Yeah, so Evolving Skies. Yeah. Oh, Fusion Strike. That's the fourth one.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, I have some of that for the shelf, diversified out a little bit into a low downside situation because honestly, if I hold these for 4 years, they're almost guaranteed to go up in price
Yeah.
and should be pretty liquid. We'll see though. We'll see. It's not a big risk if I'm wrong. Oh my, I lose a few $100.
Oh
Big deal.
no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll get
Yeah,
into a lot more Pokemon in our main topic. Um,
yeah. But I also picked up my Froggy boy,
mm-hmm.
Loveland. He's definitely my
Yeah.
favorite of the Cryptid Nation, or favorite of all of MetaZoo, honestly. So I bought one of him, and then
First
we were
edition, right?
talking. Yeah, I bought the first edition foil or hollow or
Holofoil. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The reverse is when it's the frog
Yep.
is
Yep.
yeah. So yeah, they're full hollow. And I'm actually going to buy a second one because I did not realize you could have two in a deck. So someday I will probably build a deck around him. So
Yeah, I'm
seems
gonna play
pretty
with
cool.
my second edition reverse hollows. I'll play with those guys.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you have nice, sleeves on them. They should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. I had a few other things, but we'll talk about that maybe next week.
Mm-hmm. We put out a bunch of videos this week where there's one of me opening more Cryptid Nation Second Edition, and then we have a gameplay of us doing more MetaZoo gameplay and playing. I made a deck with Pizza Bird, and John made a deck with an ice deck. Was it ice and water? Ice and water.
No, it was just ice. It was
Yeah.
Jack Frost was kind of the like the big hero, if you will, in
Yeah.
there.
Unfortunately, he didn't come out, so we put the Sharky Boy in the color.
Yeah. I did not get him out, and so that's just how it goes.
I did open up a full hollow Froggy that that goes straight into the binder. I was working on the binder this morning a little bit, and definitely still missing some stuff after 3 boxes, which is kind of crazy because I was able to fill up the Nightfall binder with just opening just under 2 boxes. And
I actually heard another content creator talking about explicitly this because they noticed the same thing you had commented. You messaged me about. You're like, oh, the pull rates are very different, and
you get 2 rares. You get 2 rares in the Nightfall pack.
Yeah, exactly. And Louis, I think it was Louis, was talking about it with somebody in his crew and was basically saying, yeah, it's a lot harder to fill your set out. Even with second edition Cryptid Nation, it's hard to get the full set. So, that's how it goes.
Like, I'm trying to get 2 of the fire artifacts for the fire deck that I'm building, and I've opened 1 out of 3 boxes.
Wow. Yeah. Yep. Well, that means they're going to be more valuable on the secondary market because it'll just be harder to get everything,
Yeah, it's wild.
Which is good.
Then you did your weekly update. I don't know if you want to pitch that a little bit, what you talked about.
Yeah. So I did. This was a pretty quick one, which I said I would have a few of these coming up. But basically, it was about diversifying your portfolio. So I practice what I preach. That's part of what the Pokemon buys were. So just if you think about any asset class as a general overview, you want to diversify, and the smart way to do that is to have holdings in things that aren't necessarily correlated. Now, obviously, everything in the cardboard space is correlated to the cardboard space. So if for some reason collectibles crash, they will all crash together. The speed of the crash is what you're trying to defend against. So you just diversify your portfolio in a way that gives you the best risk-adjusted returns. And essentially that means holding larger percentages of more stable products, think like reserve list and things of that nature. And then, exploring into other spaces that are, I guess, more volatile. And I would call MetaZoo probably one of the more volatile ones. If you think about like the NFTs and all the other stuff they have going on, there's a lot of like speculative stuff. I imagine these new games are going to be one of those as well. And then of course you got your kind of staples would be Magic and Pokemon seem to be pretty solid. Obviously Pokemon just went through a big bubble, so it probably didn't feel that way to a lot of people. But if you're buying at these lows, then you have a pretty solid baseline to go upward from there. And then, it can't go too much lower, I'd imagine, unless Pokemon disappears, which is unreasonable to imagine that happening.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, so that's what it's about. It digs into it in some detail and talks a little bit about it. But yeah.
And then the other one, the last video we got up this week, is we got a little bit of spice from James White about the Everfest packs.
Yeah, that was exciting. So Chris Sires has a Patreon. He does Flesh and Blood Unseals. Great dude. Really cool guy, accessible. Has some fun content. I've participated a few times. It is a bit like lottery ticket. You buy like some packs and he'll open a box and then you get a good pack or you don't, and some of it's like he just did WTR first. But anyways, as a patron, he got an email from James White and immediately put out to his whole list. And, I'll let you go watch the video to find out what he said.
Yeah, all these videos that we just talked about are on our YouTube channel currently. And we have some more planned for this upcoming week. We're going to do more theme deck battles. We have John playing the Light and me playing Cosmic first, and then we're gonna have the weekly update, and I'm sure something else will pop up that we want to go over.
Yeah, for sure. I will say something that I didn't make a video about, and I probably won't because it came out at somewhat of an awkward time. I thought about doing like a quick snippet, but it just didn't feel like it was worthy of it. Although several people put out videos pretty quickly afterwards. In a recent Rudy video, he opened some. Actually, I don't remember what. Maybe WTR first edition. I'm not sure. Something like that for a patron. And in the background, he's got a playmat with what looks like either an ice wizard or some sort of female goddess or demigod or something. She's
Magician?
icy.
Do we get
She's
magician?
clearly magical. She's icy. Her eyes are glowing like white blue. So is this the elemental wizard?
I hope
That's my
so.
speculation. I'm hoping it is, but it could also be because he did say in the video something about like a little bit of lore here. This isn't tied to the kits or anything. He's like, this is just some lore stuff. So I don't know if that means like it's just lore stuff as in it's part of the storyline stuff, or if he means it's lore stuff as in this is like an enemy or something. Because if you've been following the lore, that last the story that they just put out,
Mm-hmm.
it mentions something about Ophidia feeding the Findle, and it's the Findle. So some people are speculating it's a like race of beings,
Mm-hmm.
and so a magical race of beings could be icy like this, or maybe they've been corrupted. Like there's lots of ways it could go. Some people think it's a PVE thing. I'm really hoping it's the Ice Wizard thing because I've been saying Elemental Wizard this whole time, and I just want an Elemental Wizard. Dang
Yeah.
it, I want
Some
one.
some kind of wizard.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool, but no video on that. But yeah, you can see it on Rudy's channel.
And then, is there anything kind of standing out to the one when it comes to the market right now? The one thing I wanted to kind of point out is the Cryptid Nation boxes are down to 87.40 for a box,
Yep.
and there's a lot of them.
Yeah. How many was the print run?
65,000.
Yep.
But
In
I
a
think
time when
so.
there's a lot of fatigue.
It seems like that might just be North American numbers.
Oh, interesting.
So that may not include worldwide.
I wonder if it's an overprint generally or if it's not. And they're just like, it's just a quiet market right now. Because we're seeing this across everything. I mean,
Yeah.
Pokemon prices are down. Cryptid Nation or, MetaZoo is down typically. Even I was looking, well, you bought Crew because it was down. I
Yeah.
was looking at some, I think it was Tales of Ari Unlimited or something. There's some that are just like crazy low right now. So if there's a set or something you haven't picked up, just go peek around, look at eBay, look at TCG Player, etc. Because there's definitely some deals. Not everything. There's stuff I actually in my my next market update. I have a different approach. I'm gonna tease a little bit, but essentially just tracking box prices because I do a lot of sealed, and not everything is down. Some things are starting to tick up pretty consistently, which is nice. So I think we're finally stabilizing in the in the Flesh and Blood world. At least it's starting to stabilize to the point where it's like, okay, you have your pre-sale hype, release, price drop, and then just steady eddy up. It just goes up a little bit every week, which is like perfect. That's what you want. Like if we can get that with every set, if Everfest does that too, I'm going to be super into Fab because it means you can rely on the release timing, pricing, etc. the same way you can with Magic. Magic has a very specific curve and every set goes through it. Obviously, some are lower than others and some are more interesting than others. Sometimes they get print runs cut early or something like that, but it's a very obvious pricing pattern and it's release after release like clockwork. And that stable pricing patterns like that, that's how you can make money consistently and over the long term. And so if Fab hits that, I will be super happy with Fab.
Yeah, I mean, just looking because Crew's my favorite set to open, and you look at it back in October, cases are going peaked at $506. That was right around out of print, right?
Yeah, I believe so. That's probably what it was. Yeah.
And then now we're seeing them. Two were just purchased for $275.
Yep.
But those are no longer available. They're
now. Oh, did it already tick back up since then?
Yeah.
Oh, so the dip was very quick. Okay.
Yeah. So now they're back up to 320. I was able to grab it for 3, so I'm pretty happy with that. But
nice. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting time, and So one of the things I think I warned in the diversify video, but I'll warn again. I think we're approaching the end of the quiet period. This is typical in a lot of different asset classes. You have the holiday kind of everyone goes away and stops buying, selling, or otherwise, and then you get into January and things start to they're still quiet, but they start to pick back up towards February, and then by springtime, activity is pretty much full blown again. So I think while we might not see like a big boom next month, I think by next month we'll start seeing kind of that upward tick across the asset class, and then move into Everfest and new releases and stuff in springtime, and we'll probably start seeing more. Now the one variance on that, and I saw someone speculate about this, is that they think MetaZoo is tied to Ethereum prices for some reason, and I have no idea why that speculation is there, other than the NFT thing, maybe.
Sure.
And if that's the case, if a lot of the money that's in MetaZoo is tied to Ethereum, then currently Ethereum's kind of in a lull, right? It's in a quiet spot. It's mostly going sideways, but it's still down. It tends to have a high return first quarter. Just historically, first quarter is its best performing. It's not always great. Sometimes it's like a couple points,
Right.
But it tends to be the best quarter for the year. And so if we suddenly have a crazy Ethereum boom, that could affect things, right, to the positive. If we have a unexpected Ethereum bust, that could affect things to the negative, if this correlation is true. Now, I haven't dug into it too deeply, but some of it kind of makes sense, especially around the MetaZoo area. So
that sounds like a video.
Yeah, that's I want more data. Like I don't want
Right.
to just speculate, and this is pure dubious speculation. Don't rely on any of this, but it's an interesting thing to investigate, right?
Shower thoughts.
Yeah, exactly. Shower thought.
But yeah, I mean, Pokemon, it's staying at its low still in the modern stuff, and there are pre-sales up now for Brilliant Stars, which I do think is going to be a really big set, but there are going to be multiple printings, and don't pre-order cards.
No, I'm definitely, now that I'm on this Pokemon purchase train, I don't know if I'll buy every set, but either way, when I buy them, it's going to be after the first or second reprint, just because that seems to be a consistent thing. They just turned on those new printers.
Yep.
So they have a lot more capacity, meaning they probably will do, multiple waves, maybe not as many waves, but multiple waves.
Yeah, I mean, they're reprinting, like I'm seeing Vivid Voltage and Darkness Ablaze in stores.
Yeah. So my understanding, and I don't know if maybe you can talk about this a little bit as we jump into the Pokemon topic.
Yeah, we can transition.
Yeah. Do you have a bunch of so my understanding is that Pokemon has release hype, like any other card set.
Yes.
Prices are kind of at their highest. It drips down a little bit. Yes. And then, but stays to still a pretty high level. And then the second wave comes, and prices that's when you get your best price deal, is either the second or third wave.
And sometimes there isn't a third wave.
It's not like a super hot set where everyone's trying to buy it, which that's the part I need to figure out and learn.
Right.
But is that accurate?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So basically, if you're buying every set, wait until the second wave.
Unless you're playing.
Well, I'm not.
If you're part of the 4% of the community of Pokemon players,
I'm definitely not going to be part of that community.
Okay, so we'll move into the main topic here and just kind of talk about Pokemon cards in general. It was the first card game I got into as a kid. It's what kind of started my trading card game journey. Like we would play with now I don't have any of my childhood cards, unfortunately. They were lost.
It's a shame.
It's a big shame. I had first edition, I had unlimited set, I had shadowless, I had this giant box of Pokemon cards, and I'm screaming at myself every time I think about it. None of them in sleeves, all just in a box. Just piled on top of each other. Like there were first edition Charizards, like all the cards that I put in this display, I had a first edition Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, Chansey, Mewtwo, and Ninetales. Plus a whole bunch. Like boxes. And now they're just gone. No idea where. But I mean,
Mom threw them in the trash because they look like trash.
And I mean, we'd play with these cards outside during recess at the lunch table. They would get covered in food. They would, just thinking about it now, hurts so much. But how?
That's why you double sleeve all of your cards
Right,
now, which I still
exactly.
think is insane.
Yeah. Well, I don't do that actually. I've
Yeah,
broken from that. That got a little too
that's good
expensive.
because, like, yeah, commons, man, they're going to be worth a penny 20 years from now. Still,
Yeah.
20 cents.
Yeah. So, but it was that was the first game that I played, and then as we got into like middle school era, we thought we were too cool for Pokemon, so we played Yu-Gi-Oh because we were the cool kids. And so, but I mean, we had, and then even there, like those cards are gone. I had the original Blue Eyes. I had the original Dark Magician. I had the original Exodia pieces. And again, we would play with them on the sidewalk at recess outside, just laying them on the ground playing. No cards, or no sleeves, no nothing. It was no mats.
That's painful.
Yeah. And here we are.
Yep.
Um,
$60,000 Charizard. Actually, I don't know the singles
no,
prices.
but
I
yeah,
know it's a lot.
it's just, I don't want to know.
Fair enough.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, I followed Wizards of the Coast era. I probably stopped buying as a kid around the Neo Genesis set, and so I had everything up until then. And then it wasn't until COVID that, or actually, no, there was a spot in college where the Pokemon trading card game online launched, and I played that, and I thought it was really cool how you could, and genius, and I think every card game that has a physical card game and a digital version should do this, and Pokemon still does it, is they have these code cards. So you buy a pack of physical cards, and then in that you have a code to get a digital pack. So then you can feed your digital, and nowadays, especially with COVID, being able to play, having a digital client is awesome. Like I'd be playing way more Flesh and Blood if there was a digital client. I get that there is not for a reason, and that's fine. But if there was, I'd be playing it a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
mean, I think what started this journey for both of us a little bit was the Magic
yeah, Magic Arena.
arena or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I
we
had
were
played
on it
Magic a
every
long
day.
time ago, but that during COVID, I was like, might as well give it a shot. And then I'm like, oh, I forgot how much I love card games.
Right.
So, yeah.
But so and that's where so I'll get myself all hyped up. I did in college. I did it after college. I did it recently where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get into the Pokemon trading card game. I'm gonna play it, and it's gonna be fun. And then just one thing or another, and it just isn't fun.
Yeah.
Just it's one of those things where unless you are playing a meta tournament level deck against another meta tournament level deck, that you don't really have even games. I find like it's either swings one way or the other, and I feel like every time I queue into a game, I'm going up against one of those decks, and being
Mhm.
able to make one of those decks is also very hard because the amount of just filler. Like I think that's my biggest problem with modern Pokemon is how much filler is in these sets. So like you can open an entire booster box, and besides the trainers, you'll probably pull two or three playable cards. It's wild.
Yeah,
It's
that's a
just,
little weird. Well,
but
I
I
guess
mean,
it's because the game isn't really about the game.
it's well, they want it to be, but they realize it's not, and it's you are feeding the demographic that is just there to open packs, and which is
Yeah.
why I think when it comes to modern product, having sealed product is storing sealed product opposed to storing singles is the way to go. Just because if you're looking for investment purposes, because people
Yeah.
really enjoy opening
Right,
and they
right,
will
and
pay a
it's the
premium for
lottery ticket
right,
thing, right?
right,
Like you always get a premium on sealed anything just because it could be a super valuable card, right?
right,
Versus a card that is or isn't super valuable. It's binary.
right. And so you have these the one thing they do what they do right is they do kind of ensure that you have about 7 or 8 big hits in a box. So if you are opening, it's always best to open by a box. And they but the problem is with these newer sets, especially Fusion Strike is the biggest culprit, has so many of those ultra rares
Hmm.
and so few of them that actually hold value.
Interesting. That I didn't know. I wasn't sure how the set value versus card value.
Right. So
I
you're
was trying for the longest time when I first started looking into this to look for EV on
yeah.
Pokemon sets. It's really hard to find. There's just
Yeah.
like not public statistics out there. And I guess not many people willing to go create them by like opening 100 boxes, right?
I've seen a couple, but not
There's a few, but it's not consistent. I
no.
mean, and it's like for specific sets, it's here and there.
Well, and the market fluctuates so much that
Well,
what
I
is
think that's
easy.
why it's
So getting
like
those
the
numbers.
amount of stuff you'd have to keep up with just to do it is challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, the other thing is with when it comes to print runs, and we were talking, they have the right to reprint anything.
Yeah.
So that's why they're reprinting Vivid Voltage, Darkness Ablaze, because they're not reprinting those for players, because those sets are not for players. Which is surprising, because like Battle Styles is very much what I find very interesting. Is Battle Styles was a set for the players, and I think it was purposefully made without like, because if a set has a Charizard in it, it's immediately goes up in
A
value.
collector set. Yeah. Yeah.
And so they didn't want. I think they were doing a test with Battle Styles, where they were like, all right, let's put cards that are really good for the meta, but nothing that people will freak out about collector wise.
Yeah, that's one thing I think is interesting about Battle Styles, and one of the reasons I actually ended up jumping in because I watched some of the PokeTubers after we had chatted, and was trying to get a sense for this market if I really wanted to do it. And one of the things that came up was, well, Battle Styles is really really cheap. One of the reasons why is because you're right, it doesn't have iconic Pokemon in it,
Right.
but it is super useful for play. Has some really good stuff in there for play, and there's no play right now, and so that's what's depressed the price so much. So
I mean, there is, but yeah, the play is going on right now in PTCGO. And then that leads into another problem where, okay, Fusion Strike was supposed to be the launch of the new app, which is Pokemon Live, to replace Pokemon Online. And that's not out yet. It was supposed to be out in November. And here we are, January, and we still don't even have a release date.
is there any word as to why, or
I just
what
searched
happened?
before the podcast, and I did not find anything.
There's
The
no
latest
news
news
on it.
was the November, like, hey, it's not coming.
Oh, that's
Stay
a shame.
tuned for 2022. Which,
Oh,
I
boy.
mean, honestly, that might bring me back, because this new set, Brilliant Stars, that comes out. When does that come out? It comes out soon.
Soon, yeah. Because Rudy was talking about it too. I think it's next quarter.
End of
this
February. February 25th.
Yeah, this quarter.
So that's going to be both a collector and a player set. So I am speculating pretty high on that one. I'll definitely pick some up and open it when it comes out, but then probably wait. If I want to hold sealed, I'll probably get it on the second or third wave.
Yeah, it seems the way to go. I mean, I bought the most recent set, which I think is
Fusion
only on
Strike.
its second printing.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I kind of regretted it. I was like, oh man, if I just waited, I bet there'll be a third printing and the price will come down even further.
I mean,
there's no guarantees,
Yeah,
and it's
right.
a risk. But I'm not like hard into Pokemon where it's
Right.
like I need every set. If I miss it, I miss it. Like I could be like, I don't care, right?
Right.
I understand why some people would be like, no, go for the second, just to be sure you have consistent, stock, essentially, inventory.
Right, and which is why I think a set like Evolving Skies is doing so well, because it has both really big ultra rares. Like one of them is still holding around $200, and which is almost double the box price. And then you have Fusion Strike down at 91 with still some really strong hitting price ultra rares. But Evolving Skies has the whole evolution, and everyone loves Eevee. So a lot of the hits are both collector and player, because a lot of those evolution decks do see competitive play.
Yeah, something Rudy brought up was just that the whole market has shifted, and part of it was intentional. I don't know if he has any. I doubt he has inside information because he doesn't hint that he knows anything about insides of Pokemon, unlike
Right.
Magic.
Right.
But his speculation or what he was saying, and I find this interesting, is that they did it on purpose. Like they crashed the Pokemon market on purpose to that's part of why they got the new printer and hired new people and everything. And there was a listing for it out there. So people put all this together. They got all this new stuff together to basically flood the market to get the flippers out of it. You know, the fast money people out of it, because they don't like that. They're like, apparently their whole business model is like, we don't want that. We will crash the market to get rid of them.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at now. I think that might be a little bit more giving a little bit more agency to Pokemon than it has a right to. Because I think to a degree you have the lack of organized play capability during COVID being an impact. I think there's a number of factors that are all playing at the same time, because it wasn't just Pokemon that crashed around that time, right? There's other markets that went down at the same time. So it's not like it. I think it was a confluence of multiple things. He may be right that was partial motivation, but I don't think it was a full, like, let's destroy the market completely.
No.
But they wanted to pressure the flippers out, and apparently it's happened. And this includes around Fab too. I think it was who was it? It was Louis, I think, was talking about this. Apparently distributors are having trouble getting rid of products in various formats. Unlimited, for Fab, the Pokemon sets that are recent, going back, I think, up to like 8 sets back or something like that. And essentially, people are closing their accounts with distributors across the board.
Well, it's really...
So they have all this extra product sitting in these warehouses, and they're like,
Yeah. Well, it's really easy to start up a online store to sell Pokemon.
Yeah, that's what you were saying about the Pokemon.
It's a lot.
He's like, yeah, people just do it because you don't need a brick and mortar, so you can just do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people, I think, are now leaving.
Yep. Looks like the market has shifted. I like opportunity.
Yeah, and it just further strengthens the opportunity of right now, and how it may not be a consistent thing, and it may just be, this is where we're at now for the foreseeable future.
What's the number one thing to look out for as a new to Pokemon, speculator or whatever? And you could talk about it in other terms, but that's my way of looking at it. Like, what should I look for in any given new set announcement, etc., to start keeping an eye on it or something like that? Obviously, Charizard's number one on your list, but what else?
I don't know if it's number one. I don't want it to be number one, but it's a thing. If Charizard's in the set, it's a thing. It will inherently have larger value because people like to chase the Zard. And then Pikachu's another one. If it, like, the Vivid Voltage rode high for a little bit just because of the giant Pikachu VMAX extended art. And then Rayquaza is one that I guess is a modern fan favorite. I wasn't too familiar with him. He came out much after I had gotten out of Pokemon as a kid. But he's the one that has the huge $200 ultra rare in Evolving Skies.
Gotcha.
And then one that I want to crack and chase is the Gengar. Let me see if I can find it.
What is it?
It's Infusion Strike.
Interesting. Okay. Well, maybe it's good that I picked that up, even if it seems a little overpriced right now. It wasn't like crazy overpriced. It was just more than the other sets.
Yeah. It has this alt art. Let me see if I can pull it up. Here it is. It is wild.
Cool.
I can send it to you because I just realized you can't see it.
Yeah, I was like, you're not streaming this over our Discord. It's all good. All right. Well, what else do we got?
There we go. I wanted to... The other things you should look out for are what printing it's on. So, obviously, with these new printers, and if you are strictly doing this as investing, and you have no interest in playing or even opening, I would suggest against buying. Number one, don't pre-order any Pokemon.
No, I never
Two,
will.
There is the first wave you don't order. Then the second, you can pick it up on the second, which is probably your good. The third wave may not dip down to the same as the second I've seen.
Okay.
Just because it's like, oh, this is the last wave. so it might be the last. And so it's like,
Gotcha.
oh well, you're paying a premium for your last chance, kind of a deal.
Mhm.
And then you have people that buy things like they'll buy a case, and then they'll just store the case. They come in cases of 6, which is
Yeah, I saw almost
a
bought
little
some
while.
cases.
Oh jeez. Okay.
I mean, if you're gonna speculate,
Right.
speculate.
Right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
And they're very cheap. Like it was real hard. I got prices. I think they're down at distro level. From what I understand, distributor cost is $80, give or take. Like
Right.
82 at max, maybe 70 something. I got them down at $69. I got boxes at $69.
Right.
Which is under distributor cost. Like, how can you not do that, right? And it's like, yeah, sure, it may not be the best set ever, but 10 years from now, or 5 years from now, 3 years from now, it'll definitely be worth more than $69.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's why it's easy to do that. And law of big numbers, more money you put in, the more you make out of it. So just throw something out there. We're doing this little thing with a bit of a competition. I'm going to throw it here before we get to the rest of the content. Throw a hashtag Gengar. How do you say this Pokemon? Gengar. Yeah. Go look up how to spell it. We're going to be doing some giveaways as we approach 100 subscribers, and we're going to be looking for hashtags throughout all of our videos. So kind of like an Easter egg hidden in the videos in the podcast. We'll have these hashtags. This is only for YouTube. Sorry, podcasters. You'll have to go check us out and subscribe on YouTube. But yeah, that'll be coming up in the next probably quarter or so as we get to 100 subscribers, and then we'll do some more after that.
Mm-hmm.
So what else in Pokemon world?
So it's more so what you're looking to get out of it. If you are looking for quick things, that's done. If you are looking for safe long term, just a place to park money. The old Wizards of the Coast era Pokemon, I find to be much
talk
more
about
reliable.
that, because you said that, and then Louis literally said that on his last video too.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting, because I was like, oh, now I've heard it twice. So let me understand that. Talk to me about that. Tell me about it.
All right, so I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see, because I am going to follow along here.
All right. So if you're on the podcast, come check out the YouTube so you can see what Tommy's talking about.
So I just pulled up Skyridge as an older set. A single pack is going for $900. There's only one listing. Market price is $600.
Okay, that's really expensive.
Yeah. So I think this is I believe this is the last Wizards of the Coast, which was very low print run.
Right, because it was basically dead at that point, which is why it got taken back.
Yep. And they even have like e-readers. Do you remember e-readers?
No.
Okay. Well, it was this thing that you could like slide the card, like a Visa card, and into this device, and it
did what?
I believe it was for a video game, one of the video games, but I'm not sure.
Oh, interesting.
But like all these holos are just insane prices.
Now, are there? I mean, obviously the iconic ones, your Charizards and Pikachu's and stuff. But are there any I don't know, hidden gems? Yeah, because I don't want to spend like a bazillion dollars, but some things that are staples, but not the famous ones.
Evolutions.
Yeah, I was about to say that Flareon looks like it's something in the right range.
And it's funny. It reminds me the holographics that Wizards of the Coast use is very much MetaZoo. So if you look at MetaZoo and you look at the old Wizards of the Coast Pokemon, the foiling is very similar.
Interesting. Wonder if Mike intentionally copied that, or if it's just one of those things that it's.
It is intentionally, I think.
Well, I mean, it could be intentional, or it could just be like there is certain tech out there for printing cards, right? And this is one of the things you can do. There's only so many things you can do.
Right.
I mean, cold foiling was considered a like a new thing, a researched like new way of doing it. So I don't know how many options there are. Although some of the modern Pokemon cards, good God, the stuff.
Yep.
Like I don't know what they call it, but that crazy foil hollow craziness, like it's insane looking.
Like here, this is the Gengar.
Yeah, I was looking at it.
The alternate art secret.
$100 card, but will it hold?
Right, and it's a new set, so there'll be more printings.
Yeah,
because like this one, I think it was going for. Yeah, it was like almost 200. It was like 180
Yeah. That's just like buying the hot stuff on a new Magic set,
Hmm.
though. It's a guaranteed way to lose money.
Yeah, yeah. Again, don't pre-order cards.
Yeah, don't buy them when they first come out in single format, especially the powerful ones or the perceived powerful ones.
Right. And then there's these, which, when it comes to speculating and holding, I don't like. I get it. A lot of people like these
Yeah, I'm
because
not doing that.
you're
It's too
guaranteed.
awkward.
Right. Exactly. You're guaranteed this card, this promo card. And a lot of these promo cards you can only get in these boxes. Like they're the
Right,
same Pokemon, but it's different art,
right.
and they're just super awkward to store.
Yeah, that's the part. I'm like, I have storage concerns
Yeah.
that I need to take into account. I know not everyone does, and so yeah, that might be the right product. But yeah, I actually like now that I've gotten a few of those booster boxes. They showed up. I like Pokemon's structure because is it 36 packs or 24 packs?
36.
Yeah, it's a regular booster box amount of packs,
Like
but
look at
it's
look at green.
it's compact. It's nice. Fits on the shelf very well.
Yeah. Look at this green.
It's a squirrel
Yeah.
being
Some of
carried
it, I
by
don't
more
know.
squirrels.
There's just art in this that is just so cool. But they have a whole bunch of products, and
That's the
they're
part
all
I
aimed
found
at different
confusing.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's so it's a whole space to navigate, right? Which
Yeah.
is not unusual. Magic had the same problem when I got back into it last year. There's so many new things. Commander, for one, wasn't a thing when I played when I was a kid.
Right.
But just all the different product lines, it's hard to navigate, and then all the different versions of every type of card, also very difficult to navigate as a new player.
Right. And I think when it comes to all the different products, the best thing to hold is booster boxes. And honestly, I've heard rumblings that they might be doing away with booster boxes or reducing the print run of booster boxes. So that's something to keep in mind as they move towards, because most of their sales do not come from LGSs. Most of their sales come from Targets, Walmarts, even Best Buy. Like big stores carry a lot of Pokemon.
And then what do
And
they carry? Not boxes,
they
but
don't carry
what?
booster boxes. They carry,
Those blister boxes or whatever they look like.
yeah, so they carry the set boxes, which are like the ones with Dragonite here.
I'll definitely sell to a kid faster for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
Like just looking at that
Yeah,
display versus the booster box, yeah.
right. And then you look at the price, and then they actually have a product built towards players, which is really cool. The build and battle stadiums. So basically, you have two. You can just buy this one product, and you and a friend can open up these boxes and these packs and build two decks and play right away.
Right.
But that requires you to want to play the game. Then they also
Ah,
have. I'm trying to find one.
the trainer boxes.
They have the ETBs, yeah. So there's these. Also, a big fan favorite. If you don't want to put out the money for a whole booster box, this is kind of your next step down. They do go up in price, and they do have some collectible things that people really like when it comes to, like, it comes with a full set of sleeves. This looks like it comes with two sets of sleeves. Dice, coin, energy, and 10 packs. It looks like it has a player's guide now, too.
It's like a magic bundle.
Yeah, it's like a fat pack for Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes a good storage box, stuff like that. People like them. And then we have, trying to find, oh, then you have like the blister packs.
Yeah,
These,
that I could see at Target or wherever
right.
because kid sees it, put it right
Yeah.
at eye height. They're like, "Mom, I
Yeah,
want
right at
this."
right at the checkout counter, stuff like that.
Yep,
Yeah, it's even called a
12 bucks.
check lane blister.
Literally there to be like, yeah,
But
totally.
it's literally one card, one pack, and you're paying $12.45. And these three cards, they're not playable cards. They're never playable cards.
That's
And a coin.
funny.
Literally the worst product to buy. Then they have,
Highest margin though.
yeah, sure, for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find. Then they have these, the 3-pack blisters, which are actually a good deal. Because these usually come with promo arts, where you can only get that art in that set, and then you come with 3 packs, so say 4, 8, 12. So you're paying another pack worth for this blister or for that promo, which doesn't seem like the greatest deal, but it is what it is. And then a lot of people like picking up just these blister packs because they feel it's almost like the riskier, like you buy 32 of these for instead of the booster box, because the booster box is kind of pre-planned to have X amount of hits, and with these blister packs they don't really know. Like they come in a case, and I'm not sure how many are in a case, but these are the ones that they also hang at stores, and there's one pack inside, and a lot of people will get that rush of they buy 5 and they get 2 hits out of it, and then but then you may buy 5 and get no hits out of it.
Yeah, it's a lottery ticket.
Yeah. Whereas the booster box, you're guaranteed at least some hits. And I found on the booster boxes I've opened, I typically get either around the value or even above it of the box. And then they have like the single one where instead of the whole 3 line, it has just one, and it's much cheaper, even though it still just has the one pack. And then what else? I was trying to find.
Does it say you know what it's called?
Yeah.
Pokemon Bulk. Imagine that doesn't sell for much.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's see. Battle deck. There we go.
Oh, it's a different type of booster or blister.
So this is actually a pre-made deck.
Interesting. So it's just a whole deck. You just rip it and play it.
Yeah. And it comes with, there's a whole bunch of them here.
$71 for a whole case of them.
Yep.
66 for that one. Interesting.
So like this is one I've gotten, and these are the league battle decks, which I find really interesting. So after a major championship or something, they will print the winning deck and sell it as a deck that you can buy.
That's good marketing.
Mm-hmm. And what's also cool is it comes with a code. So instead of getting packs, you actually get this deck. So you can hop right into the trading card game online and play with that deck.
And that's the old one, right? Because the new one's not out.
Right.
And then when they do the new one, are they going to transition? Like, will the old one be deprecated, or is it going to be like the Magic situation where they have arena and online at the same time?
No, so that's the cool part is you are keeping your entire library.
Oh, that's cool.
They are sunsetting the old version.
That's good. Okay. Well, whenever that comes out, although you still have to want to play the game too.
Yeah. But what's cool is, so my big problem and why I think I haven't been able to stick with it is the way it works right now is you can only get cards from opening them in the digital packs or trading. There's a whole trade system where you can actually set trades and be like, all right, I'm willing to give up this and I'm looking for this. Whether it be like I'm trading 10 packs for this one specific card I'm looking for, or I'm trading this one card for this other card, or any mix of them. You can kind of set whatever trade you want, and then people can look on the public trades and then accept your trades, or you can look on the public trades and see what people are looking for and see what you want. But they are getting rid of the trading system, and it is just going. They haven't really shown what it's going to be, but I'm hoping it's something like Hearthstone, where you can even, because you end up, when you open all these packs, you end up with all this digital bulk that you can't do anything with. And what I really like about Hearthstone is if you can just dust it. So you would turn it into dust, and then you use that dust resource to be able to craft cards that you do want. Now,
yeah, I heard people talk about, like some pros and cons about that. They were talking about it in regards to Arena.
Right.
Which I get, because in Arena, if you play long enough, you have like 7 versions of negate. And you have, like it there is excessive stuff that you really don't need and probably don't want.
Right.
Or all the different land arts, right? Eventually, if you play long enough, you get land art for every set.
Right.
You're going to have a lot of land art to go through to get the one you want. And so, yeah, dusting is definitely a thing that I think is needed, but the challenge is making the economy work so it doesn't get abused or cause issues.
Right. Like this is one of the modern league battle decks, like coming straight out of Battle Styles. No surprise that the two league battle decks are the single strike Urshifu and the rapid strike Urshifu. Now you have the Inteleon one as well, but these are, and they give you code cards as well. So this product would actually help you build some meta decks on the game right now. But what I'm hoping is in the new version, it will have, because they are getting rid of trades, so how else do you get them besides just opening in packs? And I can't imagine they would just do that. And you can't even buy packs in the game right now. And it's only...
You can?
No.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what they'll introduce in the new version.
You can with in-game currency, but that in-game currency is hard to get. Because you only really get that in-game currency if you're winning games, and you're not winning games if you don't have any cards.
Yeah, of course.
So that's where I've always been stuck. But they...
Get good. Figure out how to win without cards, Tommy. Come on.
Okay. Yeah, because it's a super fair and well-balanced game.
Yeah, right?
It's
funny.
But I do have high hopes for it, because right now it's a super janky, old-looking game, and of course all these people that are hopping in right now and are taking a look at it aren't going to be that interested, or it won't hold their attention.
New one out.
Right, and so the new one will be able... You can play it on a Windows, or the old one you can play on Windows or iPad, but now you can play... The new one you'll be able to play on your phone as well. And I think that's going to be a big thing. Is once it gets to phones, maybe we have another Pokemon Go effect. Maybe Pokemon cards rebounds. I don't know.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think
we know
anything that ties back to the card. What was it?
We know the code cards are still going to work because the Fusion Strike have code cards for live.
That's what I mean. And then the older stuff becomes valuable too, right? Because those code cards will be, inaccessible any other way.
Right, and you do not carry over packs into the new game. So if you have any packs, they do not carry over, which I find interesting. But if you kind of want to game the system, you can basically any packs that you have are going to be turned into this new premium resource. So you don't just lose them, you get something for them if you have them on your account. But I think the number was, if you have 125 packs, doesn't matter what kind, on your account, you will have the max amount of the premium resources that you can get from that trade or that transition. So you can go on to there's an online store, a website that sells just the codes, and you can buy 125 of them for like $10-15 because they're dirt cheap. They're just a couple cents.
So here's the question.
Yeah.
Aside from the IP, does any of this tie into like the Nintendo games? Is there a way to get codes out of that game into this? Is there a way to use cards that you physically have to affect your Pokemon game? And I guess it's the Switch right now?
Yeah, no.
No, there's no crossover, just IP only. Yep. That's weird. Since they have so much other crossover, why didn't they do that there?
I don't know.
Huh. Interesting. Because I what an opportunity that could have been. Make me buy packs to go get Pokemon in my Switch game. Because those Switch games are pretty popular.
Oh yeah,
they're definitely one of the top. Like every time they come out, they're loved.
Yeah, and the new one's just about to come out as well.
That's what I was going to say. And the new one's about to happen, so it seems like the opportune time. Yeah, interesting. I'm surprised they don't do that.
Yeah, the new one's a pretty big divergence from the previous ones as well, because it's almost open world. Where
that's what I heard.
Yeah, where it's before. I think it takes place before the whole Ash storyline, the whole main storyline. So where Pokemon are truly wild, and they're just starting to become. Humans are starting to capture them, I think, is what the story is.
But interesting.
Yeah. I've been trying to
I
stay
mean, to
spoiler free
just
because I do plan on playing that one.
yeah, I was
I'm
actually
pretty
thinking about it
excited
the other
about it.
day. Did you hear me? I was thinking about buying the freaking Switch version of Pokemon the other day because I was like, oh, I can see how people get excited about this. I was reading some Reddit
Yeah.
article or something. I
Oh
was like,
yeah.
I can see the addiction there. Every time I've tried to play Pokemon, as you know, it has gone terribly. I buy it and I play it for 10 minutes. And I'm like, I hate this game. Um,
Well, I really like Sword and Shield. Like the new one just came out. It's a remake of Diamond and Pearl.
mhm.
I would not play those, but the Sword and Shield that just came out recently, which all these cards are based off of.
Right.
So I guess there's that tie-in. Like all the
It's just
trainers.
the IP though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like a digital code or that's what I was
Right.
asking about. Any sort of like actual,
But it is,
direct tie-in.
I guess, the other direct tie-in. Yeah, not like this card in this game and goes into the game or anything like that.
Right, right, right.
But they do have like the trainers that are involved, the Pokemon that are involved, the um, where is it going? They have so like this is the Sword and Shield era for the
Yeah.
card games, and you
So
have
it's tied to like the ones that are in the game itself.
right, and so I don't. I think this is the third year of Sword and Shield, and I don't think the new game Arceus will get like I don't think that's the new Pokemon card version. I think they're waiting for the next new generation of Pokemon because this isn't
Mhm.
necessarily a new generation. I don't think so.
So help me out with that because I don't understand any of the lore or history.
Yeah,
So generations of Pokemon, what does that mean? What is
yeah,
it like? How does that all like? Give me the progression because obviously I know about like Squirtle and Pikachu because it was on the
yeah,
TV when I was a kid. I
yeah.
was a little too old for it. My little sister loved it though, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so I know about that. But then there's everything else has happened, and obviously there's weird things going on with VMAX and all the rest. Like, give me just a basic progression, very simple. It doesn't have to be like this is this set, this is that set. Just like
Right.
is what's a generation of Pokemon? Is it per game? Is it per
Yeah.
Nintendo
So
release?
it is. Well, there's no
There's no
hard.
easy answer.
Yeah. So essentially, the the Pokemon games always come out in sets of two, and that's how you can tell that it's going to be a new generation because it has two sets, and then there are different Pokemon that are set in one or the other. Like the new Pokemon are split between the two games, so you have to play both, or you have to have a friend play one, and then you're trading back and forth, and that's the whole idea behind having the two games. They are pretty much the same game. You just have different Pokemon in that version. You have
Got it.
exclusive version, Pokemon exclusive to
Yeah, I remember that part. Yep.
yeah, and then so the current one is Sword and Shield, and then the one before that was Sun and Moon. So you had the whole Sun and Moon era of cards, and then the one before that was X and Y, the XY era.
And there's just like a bazillion eras.
Yeah,
Got it. What's the first era called?
I think it's just base. Let's see.
Well, you looked that up. Is Pokemon Legends the new game that's coming out that you were talking about?
Yes,
It looks
Pokemon
like it
Legends
doesn't
is
have a split. It's not like a red and a blue or whatever.
yes, right, and so that's why I don't think the Pokemon card game is gonna change from the Sword. I think all this year will be Sword and Shield as well.
Got it.
And
Okay.
then
Okay.
when they gear up for the new Pokemon game that has two versions, the following year, there will, um, they'll change from the Sword and Shield era to another, and that's usually when they have major game changing
When you
mechanics.
mean game changing, you mean like new mechanics on cards
Yeah,
or what?
yeah.
Got it.
And
Got it.
so
Got
you
it.
have the whole like right now you have the V's and V maxes,
Mhm.
but before you had the EXs, and that had a similar mechanic where you had these EX abilities that were super powerful that you could only use once per turn or once per game.
Interesting. Okay.
And it looks like they're kind of bringing that back with this new set. It's called V because there's V and V Max, and then there's V Star. And so one of the problems of current Pokemon is it's basically get out of V Max and then battle your V Maxes. and the VMAXs are worth 3 prizes, and you have 6 prizes total. So if you kill 2, that's the game.
Got it.
Whereas with V Star, those are 2 prizers, and those are going to slow the game. I think the company is trying to slow the game down because they realize it's too explosive and too predetermined by turn, like 2 or 3.
Right. And for those out there, I have actually played a game of Pokemon card game. Tommy forced me to. He beat me up until I did it, and so I did it. It was a very abusive scenario, and I don't even remember who won, but I shall never do it again. But I do understand the basic mechanics as a result, which is good, which is probably why I wanted to do it. This one does look good. I'm watching a little preview video of it, and like the graphics on it are awesome. It kind of reminds me of Zelda.
Yeah.
Like it really looks like was it the Wind Link? What is that?
Breath
Zelda?
of the Wild.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Breath of the Wild.
A lot of people are making the joke that this is Pokemon of the Wild.
Okay. Well, it looks like it. It sure does. And it looks good. And it's coming out on the 28th. Yeah. So it's like in a few weeks. Yeah. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, I'll be picking it up.
Maybe I'll buy another Pokemon game.
But
maybe I won't hate it.
Just to get it out there, that the game that we played to teach John Pokemon was from the Battle Academy that I picked up. If anyone is looking to learn how to play, and it's very cheap, and or wants to teach a kid how to play, these decks are perfect. It actually comes with 3 decks. It comes with a Pikachu, a Charizard, and a Mewtwo deck. The Mewtwo deck's a little more advanced, so you want to start with the Charizard and the Pikachu. They actually have, instead of being numbered like Pokemon cards, they are numbered for the order they should be in the deck. So they even predetermine the order of the deck so that it is a pretty preset game, yeah, to teach you how to play. So you don't have like where you don't draw energy.
I think Tommy just called me a child a second ago. That's what I heard. It's perfect for a child if you need to teach them.
Well, they were just, it's what I had because I don't have any.
No, it's fine. I wasn't really a fan.
But this is a great product. It's $20 and it's pretty consistently $20 because they keep selling it. I think there's a version on Amazon. There's an Amazon bundle version that comes with some packs that you can open too. Yeah, here it is. Let's see. Oh, no, they're just charging more for the same thing. But they, you asked about generations.
Oh, geez, there it is.
96. There's red, green, and blue. Red, blue. Then there was gold, silver. So basically everything up until red, blue was the base era. And then there's the gold and silver, and then crystal is kind of the yellow of. So what they'll do is
I see.
Combine it, and then you have crystal, and then you have ruby and sapphire, and then they redid the base, and then they have emerald, which is kind of like the ruby and sapphire combined, and that's where Rayquaza comes in. So Rayquaza came in 2004, so I would have been. Yeah, that would have probably been the generation after I got in. I probably stopped around Ruby and Sapphire. And then I probably picked up every single one of these, but I definitely didn't make it through all of them. And they'd make a lot of remakes as well. But Sword and Shield, the actual gameplay of Sword and Shield, I really enjoy. And it has been a lot of fun. I beat it once. I got to, like, the main story, and then I got to the endgame stuff, and was like, nope, this is too much of a grind. But I enjoyed playing it, so I recently restarted it with a different starter Pokemon.
Well, that's fun. Well, now we've gone off to collectible video games. Actually, one of the things that is most collectible that I have regarding Pokemon, well, I guess now I have some cards, but I did the Kitchen Table TCG Secret Santa. And I got a Japanese version of, oh god, I don't even, it's just called like Pocket Monster. It's got I'm grabbing it right now. Let's see. It's got it's just called Pocket Monster, and it's like Japanese on it, and it's got a Pikachu on it. It's a yellow and silver Game Boy box.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I was like, "What? That's wild." They're just like, "Do you like anime?" And I was like, "Not really." And then I guess they sent me this as a, a video game thing. I don't know how they figured out that that was a good thing. It's been opened, but it's
Yeah,
in its original box. It has its original book and everything in there,
that's awesome. I'm gonna
and
have to take a
and the
look at
video
that.
game. Yeah, I looked at it online. It's like a $80-$90 thing, and the kitchen
Yeah,
table TCG. Secret Santa was only like $25, kind of
yeah,
minimal
right.
spend. So they definitely overspent for this or overgave, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Even has the old school uh, Game Boy printer that you used to be able to plug into
Oh,
the original
that's
Game Boy
cool.
on the
That's
back, like
cool.
pictured on the back. So I
Yeah.
guess you could do something with
Mm-hmm.
that. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool though. I was like, what is this? Because I'm expecting, Fab stuff,
Right.
maybe
Right.
like MetaZoo stuff,
Right.
something that's kitchen table. Nope. It was cool though. Yeah, it's all in Japanese. I have no idea what all these words say.
Kind of to
There's a
wrap
lot of
up.
them.
Kind of to wrap up. If you're looking to uh, have stable investments in Pokemon, it would be the old Wizards of the Coast stuff, and the modern is good sealed, but singles will fluctuate greatly. It's kind of the flavor of the month, kind of a thing.
Makes sense.
But when organized play will come back eventually. What will be interesting is depends on when it comes because there is a rotation coming up. I'm not sure. I think it's September, but depending on how far back you go, if organized play doesn't start until this um, rotation, then a lot of these sets won't be playable, and then they're not going to get a bump from organized play or the app because the app plays standard. There is expanded, and there's another way of playing Pokemon. It's called expanded, where you can use all the old stuff as well. And I'm not sure if that'll be in the new app, but it is in the old app.
Interesting.
So,
All right. Well,
yeah, I think that rounds us out for today. Is there anything else
yeah.
you wanted to add?
No, nothing for me.
All right, well, then stay tuned. Check out the YouTube channel for the stuff we talked about, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good one.